Welcome to Sociology Vibes, where we simplify challenging ideas into easy to understand insights. Today, our focus is on the sociological explanation of the conflict theory on culture. Conflict theory is a macro-analysis theory of how society works. This means it looks at society rather than focusing on individual people, especially how power and inequality influence social relationships. The conflict perspective is rooted in the ideas of historian and philosopher Karl Marx, who focused on capitalism as a major force of social inequality in modern societies. Karl Marx also believed that in societies, constant conflict or tension exists between large groups who have access to power and privileges in society and those that don't. Culture refers to shared beliefs, values, norms, and practices that shape how people think, behave, and interact across society. Conflict sociologists ask, who benefits from these cultural values? Who is left out? How do cultural benefits reflect power and inequality? Who creates the culture we live in? Who gets to decide what's normal? Let's look at some more examples of culture from the conflict perspective. Culture as a tool of social control for the masses. Conflict sociologists study how various cultural beliefs are used by those in power to hold on to their status and maintain the cultural status quo. You probably recognize many of the following. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. If you work hard, you'll succeed. That's just the way things are. Don't talk about money, politics, or religion. You should be grateful for what you have. People get what they deserve. Stay in your lane. While these messages are part of the mainstream culture, they are not harmless. Hidden below the surface, they shift responsibility from societal organization and systems to individuals, discourage questioning and challenging social inequalities and unequal access to opportunities and resources. This cultural silencing keeps power unchallenged and reinforces dominant ideologies that people get what they deserve and that everyone has the same opportunities. When people believe that they're lacking in some way due to their own doing, this is a form of social control because it keeps people from speaking out and challenging societal power structures and systems. Conflict sociologists argue that cultural beliefs are not neutral. Rather, they are created and maintained by power elites who benefit from the status quo. Culture reflects inequality. Conflict sociologists study how these status quo cultural beliefs are disseminated across society. Why is it that only a few voices are dominant in the mass media news cycles? Who decides on the latest fashion trends? Who sets standards for what bodies should look like? Who decides what gets included in textbooks and by default what gets left out? What knowledge is considered important and legitimate? Which groups are overrepresented in the legislative process? Who designs the platforms and algorithms we use every day? By asking ourselves these questions, we see that the use of power is concentrated among a small number of people and embedded in society. This reflects cultural dominance by the few and becomes the cultural standards for the masses. Cultural capital replicates social inequalities. Cultural capital is defined as the knowledge, behaviors, and tastes of people in higher status and higher social class positions that open doors of opportunities and privileges. Cultural capital is passed down from parents to their children. Here are a few examples of cultural capital. Being comfortable talking to doctors, lawyers, or professionals and asking questions. Traveling and being familiar with different settings such as airports, hotels, and formal events. Participating in extracurricular activities valued in college applications. Knowing how to network and following up and asking for opportunities. Being exposed to books, conversations, or topics from a young age that teach children how to be comfortable in high-status social environments. On the surface, when we observe these examples in real life, it appears as though people have natural talents or work harder than others. In reality, cultural capital is hidden and can explain why some people have an easier path to success than others. People enjoy the social advantages that come with cultural capital, and cultural capital reproduces social inequalities across generations and societies. Culture, social change, and social resistance. While conflict sociologists study the use of power in society, they also analyze how culture can become a tool for social change and resistance. Social movements like those tied to social justice can challenge inequality, question dominant and mainstream beliefs, and push for a more equitable society. The conflict theory on culture helps us practice cultural and social awareness by focusing our attention on taken for granted cultural beliefs. By asking ourselves who's represented and who is left out, who's being scapegoated or blamed, we begin to see and call out unfair cultural power dynamics and systems. And this makes sociology fascinating, don't you think? Thank you for watching. Be sure to comment below with your thoughts, questions, or any topics you'd like us to explore next. Let's keep the conversation going and our community growing. See you in the next Sociology Vibes video.